You make me chuckle. I don't know why you're standing for me. You should be standing for yourselves. You're the ones that are making it happen. And if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. We're here to be with you because you're making it happen out there. And I absolutely know that silvers are the heart and soul of Young Living. You are the ones who get to that point where you realize this is for real. Not only are you having the experiences with the products, but you're starting to make some money. And it's a thrill to do that as well. Am I right? We are fools if we are so delusional that we think that we do this without any intention of making money. The blessing is that we can make money doing something that we love. That is what it's all about. I don't know where Jacob is, but I have Joseph with me. Woo!
Hello. Okay. Well, you know that the farm is one of the best things ever. And, you know, I love the oils, the products, everybody that works in Young Living. And just seeing all these amazing animals is just an inspiration for me. And I'm glad that you're all here, and I hope you have a fun time here. Enjoy it while it lasts.
We always say that Joseph is a very old soul. He's still trying to figure out what we mean by that. But you can have a very adult conversation with him that still comes out in the vernacular of a youth. But they've grown up on this farm. They've grown up on this farm with their dad. And I'll never forget when we were barely in the beginning, cultivating the ground, turning it over, getting ready to put in crops. And Gary worked practically night and day down here at the farm. He loved this farm so much. And when we renovated the visitor center, and that was a place where all the chickens and the pigs and the mice and the critters from the farm lived. So they were not happy with us when we started to gut it. But I think it's a beautiful little old farmhouse that has a lot of personality. But upstairs, one of the bedrooms, we brought a bed down so we could sleep down here because it's an hour drive from here to our home in Alpine. And at night, well, even later in the day, around 4 or 5 o'clock, the workers would go home, and it would just be Gary and me down here. And Gary and I were out on the porch, and we'd stand and look out over the fields that weren't planted yet. And we'd look at the immensity, or what we thought was immense. And Gary said, and this is back in 1995, 96, Gary said, Mary, one day we will see thousands of people come to our farm. He saw you all sitting here. He saw you all coming.
Hello.
How many of you saw the joust this morning?
Thanks.
Well, it was not my favorite thing when Gary said, I'm going to teach Jacob to joust. Because I have been through a lot of unhappy moments with Gary jousting. The last one was when they ran the lance through his hand, and he went through convention with his hand swollen and in lots of pain. And I didn't want Jacob to have any of those experiences. But Jacob has a feel for it. Both Jacob and Joseph love to ride. They're fantastic on the horse. But what's interesting about the two boys is that they both have so many things like their father, and one of the wonderful things that they have is they are both fearless, and they are both very, very steady and balanced on their feet. Their mom isn't. I look at it and then I trip over it. So I'm really happy that the boys don't have that problem like their mom. But Jacob just took to the jousting, and I don't know what's in his soul that causes him to want to do that. He just took Dad's motorcycle and started motorcycle riding, and Mark took him down to the office to kind of get him started, and he said, Mary, he's a natural. I hardly even had to say anything to him. And I said, Jacob, why do you want to ride a motorcycle? He said, because when I ride it, I feel like Dad's with me. And Gary loved to ride, and he rode most all his life on a cycle. So I want you to hear what's in the soul of these two boys who carry Gary's spirit. They carry his DNA, they carry his blood. And when you're with them, when you talk to them, you can feel Gary's spirit. It's very strong within them. They love their dad very much, and their dad always taught them about how to communicate with God. And whenever they have a problem, they know that's where they go. They've seen many miracles with God's intervention in their lives. Many accidents that became unaccidents. It's quite remarkable. But they have a strong feeling about the farms. They have a strong feeling about the oils. They have a strong feeling about what their dad wanted. And they want to be part of that with you as well. And they want to carry Dad's legacy. And because they carry Dad's spirit, his DNA, there's a greater responsibility for them. And I explained that to them when we were in Prague. I said, you need to be here because people want to know who you are. They want to shake your hand. They want to get to know you and feel your spirit and feel that powerful energy that Gary had. So I'd like Jacob just to take a minute and tell you what it's like for him.
So like my dad, as my mom said, I'm an extreme adrenaline junkie. I like to do stuff that would put me in the hospital. Yeah. But like I said, I'm also cautious at the same time because we like to have fun, but play safe. For my 18th birthday, just recently went up to Roy, which is by Salt Lake, and purchased a CBR 600, which is a bullet bike or a sports bike, which tops out at 190 miles an hour. And yes, lots of stress away and peace and calming for you. But I like doing the things that my dad liked to do a lot. It also makes me feel closer when I'm doing stuff like that with him, because when my dad passed away, I was deeply saddened because I didn't know who I was going to do all the things that I did with him. I didn't know who I could do that with, or how I could experience that, and it was so much fun to do stuff with him because regardless if I got hurt, if I did something, he'd always make it fun and memorable. He never wanted it to end with a bad memory or something like that. For example, I think 4 years ago we were out skiing and I went directly for a tree. I don't know why, it just looked really pretty, so I went straight for it and crashed into it, dislocated my jaw and broke my thumb. And let's see, FDA complaint here, that's right. Okay. So we applied oils, can't say which one or where or how, but we applied the oils and it helped, and then we also prayed, and by the following day, my jaw had gone back in place, and my thumb, when we went to go x-ray, almost had like a very, very small crack, as if I broke it like years and years and years ago. So he always made it memorable regardless if I were to get hurt, and it was just, I think everything that we did, it's fun, and for me, it's how I like to live. There was this saying that I live by, and I'll always live by now, and that was, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. I did steal it, and I will use it actually in my intro for my season 3 of my YouTube channel. So for my intro, I'm slowly showing the bike, and I put the saying there: if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Just because that meaning means a lot to me. My dad was always living on the edge. It didn't matter what day or what time of day, he was always living on the edge. He was always doing something, and age was never. It wasn't age for him was just, you know, a number. It wasn't something that held him back. So what was it? Back in 2014, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna skydive because I just want to. So if you want to do something, there's nothing in this world that you cannot do. If you can do it, it's because you're not willing to put the effort in to do it. Everything that you see here at the farm was accomplishable, and thousands, almost millions of people always told my dad, nope, you can't do that, you can't do this. And look at what we have here today. So I just want you to go home with that there isn't anything that you can't do in this world. As long as you put the effort and the time in it, and you have people surrounding you that will help you and encourage you, and they'll share that dream with you, anything is possible and achievable. And so I expect out of every single one of you that by convention next year you'll be Royal Crown Diamonds. But that's all I have to say, so thank you very much, and you have a great and wonderful rest of your time here at the farm.
Can you feel Gary's indomitable spirit with these boys? They love the farm. They love Young Living. It was interesting when they were little. We'd get to convention, and it was in the Salt Palace. Then we were still on the small side. And the doors would open, and the boys would take off. And they'd just look back and say, see you, Mom. And I would see them on somebody's lap, or they were going with somebody. But they always wanted to be with you. They always had friends among the ranks. And so many of those who are now with us for many years have known the boys since they were little, and they've watched them grow up and mature and take on the persona that they have. But it's about what we're all about. Gary always looked at everyone as his family. And he always said that we were a family. And he always wanted everyone to treat each other as you would treat family members. That means that we take care of each other, we help each other. We have to be strong and healthy. And if we are financially healthy, we can be a very powerful force in the world for that which is good. Because there is so much that is driven by money that is not good. I got this notice in the mail, with this little magazine that said, Trump takes on the medical establishment. And I just laughed. And I thought, my gosh, this is one man who at least recognizes that there's something there that we want to change. And I acknowledge the medical profession because there's always a place for medical intervention. Medical intervention saves lives, but they don't heal the human body. What we have heals. What we have gives life. What we have gives freedom. We are about freedom. Gary named our convention. He was all about freedom. He was a freedom fighter, and he knew that people had to be healthy and well and have financial health in order to be freedom fighters. And we are fighting for our rights to make our own choices for how we take care of our families. And I know that you feel that way, and that's why you're here. We are so grateful for all of you. When we heard the numbers, 2,500 silvers, and we go, oh my goodness gracious, that's exciting. Because that just shows the strength. What will you be when 2,500 people become golds, and then platinums, and then diamonds. And many, many, many of you will achieve those levels. You will be a powerful force for good in the world, and you will teach your organizations and encourage them and find all the good that they do and motivate them to follow in your footsteps. The leader is the one who looks and cares and helps and takes care of those in their organization. The leader is not the one who says, look at me, look at how great and wonderful I am. That is not a leader to me. The leader is the one who said, how can I help you? I want you to be successful. Is there anything I can do for you? So think about that. You are in leadership positions, and you have organizations already that are looking up to you, that are going to watch what you do, and they're going to follow in your footsteps. So make sure you set the right example and give them those things that will help them be the very best that they can be. I am so grateful for this beautiful, beautiful weather. Last year it was cold and rainy, and I stood on stage next to Gary when he spoke, and he was not well. He was in a lot of pain, but no one knew that. And I said, Gary, do you want me to go sit down? He said, no, please stay here with me. He didn't want to lose that energy. And so now that he's gone, it's up to us to carry that energy into the world, and to carry that energy to those new people who we meet, who we bring into our Young Living family. He was a powerful, powerful spirit. He was a powerful innovator. He was a genius, and he was a visionary. And he has given us everything that we need to go forward in the world and become successful, and to help those in our organizations become successful, and to support and strengthen one another. Thank you.